October 2025 is a great month to be a UFC fan. We've got non-stop banger cards throughout the month of October. I'm going to break down those fights, break down the cards that we've got in October. Before we go ahead and get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it, boys. So here we are with the entire lineup for the month of October. UFC 320, UFC Fight Night Brazil, UFC Fight Night Vancouver, and UFC 321. We've got two pay-per-views in the month of October. Two amazing fights as the main event. We got Ankalaev facing Pereira for the second time, the rematch, and we've got Aspinall versus Gane on the other pay-per-view. So far in the two fight nights, we just got the announcement of Charles Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. I just broke that fight down yesterday and gave my first reaction and my initial reaction to that fight, so go check that video out if you haven't already. And then for UFC Fight Night Vancouver, there have been rumblings, there have been a bit of leaking around that we know what the main event is going to be. We've heard from Khabib, we've heard from some different sources. It's not confirmed yet, but there's a 99% chance that this is the main event, and the main event that has been leaked is Mario Batista versus Umar Nurmagomedov in the main event of this fight night in Vancouver, which is a solid main event, especially for Canada. I mean, for us, for Canadians, that's a great main event. Mario Batista versus Umar is actually a fight I'm quite intrigued for. I'm quite excited for. It's a fight that I was like, okay, why is this kind of low-key good matchmaking? I was like, wait, this is kind of good matchmaking. This is go-to matchmaking. But, you know, Charles versus Fiziev, quite an unexpected main event, but a banger nonetheless. We got Charles on a fight night rather than a pay-per-view. This is the first time he's headlined a fight night in ages. I think since he fought Tony Ferguson, I think. So it's been a long time since he's headlined a fight night, at least, not a pay-per-view, a fight night, right? With Charles in a fight night, that just stacks the month of October. We're going to get into 320 first and look at the fights that are already on the card and check out some of these fights, check out what's pretty good so far. If this card will open up for some reason, come on. I actually can't with the UFC website. I constantly complain about it, but it's useless. It's actually useless, I guess. Is it? Hello? Alright, so I gave up on the UFC website. Screw that shit. It's pissing me off, making me crash out. So here we are on Tapology. UFC 320. Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev 2. Not the best first fight. I'm really hoping this rematch is better. I wouldn't even be mad if Ankalaev KO'd Pereira. I did pick Pereira in the first fight. You know, he got his ass whooped. He got whooped by Ankalaev. In this rematch, I got Ankalaev. I do. Early pick, I got Ankalaev in the rematch. And in the co-main event, we got Merab versus Corey Sandhagen. You know, people are going to say undeserved title shot for Corey Sandhagen, but who else are they going to give Merab? Petr Yan for the rematch? You know, like, he deserves it. I think Petr Yan should fight the winner of this, but Merab's running through everybody. He is the go-to bantamweight already. Of course, I'm taking Merab. And honestly, I'm going to say that Merab manhandles Corey Sandhagen and just destroys him over 5 rounds. Then we got Joe Pyfer, Abu Magomedov, recently added to the card. Good fight. Yuri Prochazka, Khalil Roundtree, banger of a fight. This is an amazing fight. I love this fight, Yuri versus Khalil Roundtree. This is going to be a sick fight. Then we got some other fights, Edmund Shabazi and Andre Muniz, Macy Chiazon, Yana Santos, Addabal Gauthier, Ozzy Diaz, Farid Basharat, Chris Gutierrez, Veronica Hardy, Brogdon, whoever she is, Brogan, Walker, whatever. Some okay fights. Some okay fights on the prelim. I mean, Addabal Gauthier, huge prospect. You know, Farid Basharat, prospect as well. Edmund Shabazian is making a bit of a comeback. And this main card is great. The main card's great so far. We're missing one more fight on the main card, but amazing card for 320. Really, really good card for 320. Hyped for this fight. Hyped for, you know, most of these fights, to be honest. I'm hoping that Ankalaev Pereira is a better fight than the first one. It's more entertaining, at least. I hope there's a finish, but we'll see. Great fight for 320, though. Great fight card for 320. Of course, it's in Las Vegas. Of course it is, but then we move on to UFC Fight Night Brazil, where we just got the main event added. Oliveira versus Fiziev, super unexpected. You know, I'm a little bit worried that this might be a scenario where if Oliveira loses, he might want to retire in Brazil. We're going to get into, I might talk about that in a whole other video when we get a bit closer to the fight, but great main event, really fun main event. Oliveira versus Fiziev. You know, Fiziev always has fun fights, no matter what. Early pick, of course, I'm going Charles Oliveira. He's my guy. I'm going to back him no matter what. You know, I'm repping the shirt again, but I'm always repping it. What can I even say? Of course, I'm picking Oliveira as the early pick, but this is a banger fight. Vitor Petrino, Thomas Peterson, you know, it is what it is. Vitor Petrino at heavyweight could be a prospect. He could be a prospect at heavyweight. You know, he just destroyed the great Austin Lane in dominant fashion in the first round. Just demolished Austin Lane, picked him apart, you know. We'll see how Vitor Petrino does at heavyweight, but I think he beats Thomas Peterson. Then Julia Palacio, Karolina Kowalskis, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. I like Julia Pilastri. She just walks you down, throws hands, fun fighter. Lucas Rocha, Stuart Nickel, fun fight, whatever. Janata Denise, Mario Pinta, that's actually a banger. I'm not going to lie. Heavy hitters, both of these guys. This is super low level WMMA. And this was just added, actually. Jafel Filo versus Clayton Carpenter. Good fight. Really, really good fight, to be honest. Jafel Filo is super fun. Very good grappler, and so is Clayton Carpenter. That's going to be fun. But overall, great card in Rio. Honestly, amazing main event, right? Like, this is great for the Brazil crowd. I hope they really back Charles and they actually bring some energy, because usually they don't win in Brazil. But in Rio, I'm sure they will. Great fight night, to be honest. And with Oliveira on a fight night rather than a pay-per-view, it just makes October look even better. All right, and then we move on to UFC Fight Night Vancouver. Probably the worst card out of the month, if we're being honest. We don't have the main event yet, but there's huge. I'm getting rid of these ads. There's huge suspicion around what the main event is going to be, and I believe this main event will be true. It was said by Khabib. It was said by some leaks in different areas on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever the case may be. And I think it's going to be Mario Batista versus Umar Nurmagomedov as the main event of UFC Fight Night Vancouver, and I think it's a great fight. I actually genuinely think it's a good fight. You know, usually people hate on Mario Batista, and a lot of people hate on Umar, but match the two hated people up against each other, and now we got ourselves a bit of a fight. Now we got ourselves a question of who's going to win, but for the most part, I'm sure most people are going to go Umar. I'm going to go Umar. I don't think he's going to let himself lose again. I just made a video about how Umar is getting close to being kicked out the family if he loses to Mario Batista. If he does, honestly, Khabib might disown him. So I think he's going to lose that Nurmagomedov last name. But watch that video if you haven't already. But I'm early pick. I'm going Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm going to say he schools Mario Batista a little bit, breaks him throughout the rounds, and gets himself a unanimous decision. But I think it's going to be a good fight. Honestly, I do see the two of them throwing hands and making it a bit of a scrap in Vancouver, and actually giving the Canadian fans a great main event. Just like JDM versus Bilal, which was supposed to be a shit main event, turned into a good main event. We'll see how it goes. I got Umar as the early pick. But then we got Fiorot, Jasmine Jasudavicius. I'm 99% sure this is the co-main. It should be. It's a great fight. Jasmine Jasudavicius might be the only good potential chance we have as a Canadian fan base, a Canadian MMA fan base, to have a champion. Jasmine Jasudavicius ranked number 5, fighting Manon Fiorot ranked number 2. These rankings are wrong. If Jasmine beats Manon, she's going to be fighting for the title after Silva does. You know? And that's great. That is a great potential win for Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think she can beat Manon Fiorot. I'm going to pick Jasmine as the early pick as well. I really ride with Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think she's got all the skills and technicalities to be a champion. I think she can do it. You know, her grappling is dominant. Her striking's gone much better. She's very big for the division. I think she beats Manon Fiorot. I kind of hope it's a 5. Obviously, what am I saying? It's a fight night. Of course, it's going to be 3 5-minute rounds. Why would I want it to be a 5 round, 5 minutes? What am I even saying? Manon Fiorot versus Shevchenko was boring. Put me to sleep live. I think Jasmine's going to make this a fun fight. I think she's going to try to finish the fight. She's actually a finisher, and she is a great WMMA prospect out of Canada, man. I'm picking her as the early pick. Then we got Bruno Silva, Hyung Sung Park. This just got added to the card. Great fight as well, honestly. Good fight. Hyung Sung Park deserves this fight, even though he lost to Tatsuro Taira, got subbed. He took it on short notice, you know, big step up, and he gave a little bit of a fight back. You know, he survived till the second round. So this is a good fight. I don't know who to pick yet, but we'll see. And then we got Marlon Vera versus Ayman Zahabi. This was a fight that Ayman Zahabi was calling for. I think it's good because Chito Vera's got to get back in the win column. He needs a bit of an easier fight, and Ayman Zahabi could win this fight as well. This is a good scrap. Early pick, I'm going Ayman Zahabi. I think Chito's just out of it at this moment. Then we got Stephanie Luciano, Ravina Oliveira, low-level WMMA, Danny Barlow, DeJordan Santos, so fight. But then Asma Bakoyev, Yuri Belgarui. If you guys know Yuri, this guy is he is a prospect. But coming in against Asma Bakoyev, I gotta go Bakoyev. Bakoyev is jokes on Twitter, he's jokes on Instagram and stuff, and he can throw hands and knock you out anywhere. Give me Asma Bakoyev as the early pick for sure. I ride with Asma. I think he's a great prospect. He's not even 30 yet. I think he's got a long way to go, and I think he knocks out Yuri. But overall, good fight night so far. We don't have every single fight on the card, but not a bad fight night, right? And the best part about this month, the best part about October, we've got no Apex. And we have 2 pay-per-views and 2 banger fight nights. It is the best month of the year to be an MMA fan, to be a UFC fan. It's a great month, and we finish off the month with a banger card. UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, Aspinall's return. Aspinall defends his title, his well-deserved title. His title that he's had this entire time, he has never been the interim champ. He's always been the champ. John Jones has not been the champ for the past 2 years, 3 years. He is not. It's been Aspinall this whole time, and he's going to defend that belt, knock out Cyril Gahn. Early pick Gahn does not deserve this title shot. He doesn't. He just keeps getting these fraud title shots. It's ridiculous. But it doesn't matter because we're gonna get an early round 1 knockout by Tom Aspinall. You know how it goes. Banger. And it's in Abu Dhabi. This card's going to be stacked. It's going to be fucking stacked to the gills. You already know they're going to give us the best fights on this card. So we got Aspinall Gahn as the main event. Banger. Then we got Volkov, Jailton, Almeida to see who is going to fight Tom Aspinall. Amazing fight as well. And if Cyril Gahn does pull out like he often does or he sometimes does, we're going to get one of these two guys fighting Tom Aspinall. Most likely Jailton Almeida, just because of the fact that Alexander Volkov already fought him. But that's a banger fight as well. Early pick, I got to go Jailton Almeida. I think he could find a sub over Volkov if he takes him down. Volkov is lengthy. He got taken down by Gahn, arguably got robbed by Gahn. Not even arguably. He got blatantly robbed by Gahn. Gahn just keeps getting fraud title shots. Like, of course he does. But Jailton Almeida, Alexander Volkov, great fight on the main card. This is a sick fight. Then we got Alexander Rakic, Azamat Murzakanov. Rakic is on the downfall, man. I think Murzakanov puts him out of the top 10. Rakic shouldn't even be in the top 10. He shouldn't even be ranked, unfortunately. But Azamat Murzakanov is on a generational little streak right now. Hasn't been too active, but he's back. He's active. He's trying to get more fights in, and he's trying to get up in the rankings to get a title shot before he turns 40. He's getting up there in age. So great main card so far. We don't have all the fights on the main card. We don't even have all the fights booked out for October. But once they are, it's going to be clear. It's going to be clear that October is the best month of the year. I already predicted this. I already think that October will be the best month of the year and the best month that we've seen in a very long time. We're eating good as UFC fans. We are eating very good, all right? And then even in the prelims, man, we've only got a few prelims. Chris Barnett. Come on, Chris Barnett back in Abu Dhabi facing Hamdi Abdelwahab. Man, this is a banger. This is a banger. And I know bangers. All right, this is a straight banger. Come on. Chris Barnett versus Hamdi. This is like dream fight right here, boys. Dream freaking fight. Give me Chris Barnett as the early pick, man. Spinning head kick, spinning wheel kick. Nah, crazy though. Good fight here. Azamat Maxim coming back against Mitch Raposo. I think Maxim just destroys Mitch Raposo. Had a super close fight. Arguably got robbed against, you know who. Tagir Ulanbekov. He got robbed by Tagir. He did. He destroyed Tagir, got the takedowns. It was a very close fight. I'm not going to say destroyed, but it should have been a split decision. Of course, because I think they were in Abu Dhabi. I think it was the fight night in Abu Dhabi. Of course, he got robbed. So, it is what it is. Actually, no, that wasn't the fight night in Abu Dhabi. That was in Baku. But he got robbed. I think Azamat Maxim destroys Mitch Raposo. And then we got Ikram Aliskerov versus the Iron Turtle. Another banger. This is another great fight. And I think the Iron Turtle can win this one, man. But overall, great card so far. And Abu Dhabi's not even filled out yet. We don't even know if this is the co-main event. The co-main could be even better. Even if this is the co-main event, it's amazing. No matter what. We've got 2 more fights that need to be added to the main card. We've got a bunch more prelims to be added. And it's Abu Dhabi. We're gonna get a great card no matter what. Nonetheless, man. It's looking like October is going to be the best month of the year. The best month to be a UFC fan. I'm absolutely hyped. We're only a month away, basically. We've got, okay, what am I saying, a month away? Fine, we're 2 months away. Fine. We're 2 months away. I'm going to pretend like we're only 1 month away. The time's going to fly like this. And boom, we're going to be into UFC 320. We're going to have Ankalaev, Pereira. We're going to have a bunch of bangers. Then we're going to have Charles Oliveira versus Fiziev a week later. Then Umar versus Batista a week later. And then Aspinall Gahn a week later. Like, come on. We're eating good, boys. But that's the entire video. I just had to give my opinion on why I believe this is the best month. Stacked. Absolutely stacked. You guys let me know. Is this the best month of the year? There is June. June was pretty good. But the problem was the outcome of those main events wasn't very good. Obviously, Ilya knocked out Charles. Not good at all. No, I'm kidding. And then we had Khalil versus Jamal Hill, which was just boring. And then we had, Usman versus Buckley, which was kind of boring. And then we had Merab versus, Sean O'Malley too, which was, Merab destroyed him, but it was kind of boring as well. So I still think October is the best month. No apexes, just nonstop banger after banger after banger after banger. 2 pay-per-views in the month. Amazing fights. That's the entire video, boys. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop it down in the comments what you guys think about October. Is October the best month of the year? And I will catch you boys in the next video. See you.